When it comes to getting closer on the eyes, you might want to switch to a smaller brush for right now. Before I also paint my neck black, I'm going to be making a little bit of an outline of where my tongue is going to go, so I do not paint in that area. Once you have all the black applied, you can then go in with the Made You Look detail brush and the same black body paints. You can fill in some more details around the eyes without having to worry about filling in the black around them. As always, when doing details like this for a character, it's always great to use a reference photo. If you need to add more white, you can add more white using this paint, but you might need a couple coats. And be careful not to add too much water because you're going to be mixing gray onto your face then. I'm then going to be taking the Made You Look eyeshadow brush and a light tan color from BH Cosmetics and filling in almost the outline of the eye, but not quite the outline of the eye. Make sure you leave a little bit of space between the color you are applying and the edge of the eye. After that, we're going back in with the Made You Look angled brush and BH Cosmetics gray eyeshadow and kind of doing the same thing that we did with the brown, but shading it a little bit less. To add a little bit of a shine to this eye area, I'm going to be going in with the Made You Look angled brush and BH Cosmetics light blue eyeshadow. Very, very light blue. And I'm just going along the tops of the eyes with this. I'm going to be taking the Made You Look eyeshadow brush and some white eyeshadow. Any brand will really work. And I'm going to be making some wrinkles of what would actually be forming on Venom's face. So I'm going a little bit around the eyes. I'm also bringing it up from where his eyebrow wrinkles would be, outlining it a little bit underneath the eyes, and then also right above where the mouth is going to be. I have yet to find a very good mixture of body paint to make gums, and the best thing I have found is BH Cosmetics Earth Lip Liner. Yes, this is a little bit difficult to get off of your face when you're ready to take it off, but you can get it off with some basic face wash. And I'm going to be outlining my gum area and also leaving some holes because Venom has some kind of stringy gum thing going on. I'm also going to finish up that basic outline of where my tongue is going to be and then fill in all of my gums. To add the teeth, I'm using Graftobian White and the Made You Look detailed brush. They're kind of closer together and don't actually span the entire width of his mouth. For my bottom teeth, I ended up changing the placement of them later, so I will show you guys that in a bit. To do some basic shading on these bad boys, I'm using the Made You Look lip brush and the BH Cosmetics very light yellow, and I'm just kind of going over the teeth near the gum. I'm then doing the same thing with a darker gold eyeshadow and also a dark brown eyeshadow. And I'm letting the dark brown eyeshadow go more on the gums than on the teeth. And then mix up the ugliest tongue color you'll ever see in your life using the Mayron Pink Paradise Paint and the Graftobian White. And we're just going to use this color as a base. This is where I decided that I was going to change my bottom teeth to the other side. And all I did was redraw them and fill them in the exact same way as the top teeth. To actually make the tongue look a little bit more of a normal color, I'm going in with Mayron Blush and the Made You Look eyeshadow brush. The main color that I'm using to fill in this tongue is called Tropic Coral. And I'm just doing some basic shading, which would be behind the teeth and then also in the middle of the tongue where it sinks down and wherever it is going to be folding. To add an even darker color, I'm then using the color Mocha from the same Mayron Blush palette. And I'm concentrating this more toward the top of the tongue where it's going to be blended into darker colors later, and then also wherever the tongue folds. Once you have a dark color applied on your tongue, you're going to go even darker with a dark red eyeshadow from BH Cosmetics. Do the exact same thing of going behind the teeth, wherever the tongue folds, and then also near the back. Using the Made You Look angled brush, I'm then taking Mayron Paradise Paint in red and filling in any of the gaps in between the gums and then also near the center of the tongue. You do not need to go in between the teeth at this time. And I'm just blending it out with my finger. Using the Made You Look eyeshadow brush, I then went in with a little bit of dark red eyeshadow. And here comes the most stressful part of the entire look, which is filling in between the teeth and not getting it on the white. I'm filling in between the teeth using the Made You Look angled brush and Graftobian black pro paint. I'm then blending that out into the red colors. To give the teeth a little bit more definition, I'm then going back in with a dark gray eyeshadow and the Made You Look angled brush and very, very lightly outlining the teeth, as well as adding a bit of dark red in between each tooth to give it a little bit more of a 3D effect. You can also continue the same dark red throughout the gross gums that Venom's got going on and give them a little bit of depth. In between the bottom teeth, I also want to give it a bit of shading and went in with dark gray eyeshadow and then a little tiny bit of black. If you'd like to add saliva, you could add white saliva with a little bit of blue, or you could add this lime green saliva, which is inspired by Weiser's body paint. When adding saliva, I'm using the Made You Look detail brush and Graftobian lime green pro paint. To finish up, you just have to add the highlights on the body of Venom, which I'm doing the same kind of technique as I did on my face, and I'm just outlining around my mouth and then also around where my muscles would be, you know, if I had them.
A ver si alguien se anima a cosplayar de la simpática tía Usagi.